I need someone to tell me how I can turn my DMs off on Instagram because there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people that messaged me on Instagram and various social media platforms. I would say not too many kind words came my way this week.
This is Park the Bus with Stephen Caldwell, Kevin Kilbane and Luke Wileman. So here we are in Graham Leggett's for the final time before the holidays.
Yep.
You all ready for the holiday season?
I've done very little this year, guys, I have to say. It gets less every year, to be honest. I'm looking forward to it, but my responsibilities are getting less and less because my
responsibilities are dwindling, but your social life is going
That's
through
the thing. His
Yes.
responsibilities are now shifting from
what party
kids
should I go
to exactly. Where should I go this night?
Too many parties, guys. I'm looking forward to it being done. Too many beers, too many Guinness, Kevin.
How many Guinness yesterday at the Park the Bus Christmas?
I don't want to count.
Nothing
I don't want
daft,
to count.
Stevie. Nothing
Just
daft.
a couple.
Nothing
Good
daft.
fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I go by the old, if I say I'm going out for a drink is always two. You can't just have one drink.
No.
If you're having a couple, it's 5 or 6. And then I'm going out for a few, it's usually 10 or 12. So that's my...
So was it a few yesterday?
It was a few yesterday, just a few drinks, yeah.
Nothing daft.
Yeah.
Same clothes?
Same. I am in the... not the same T-shirt, no. But I am in the same jeans, socks, shoes and underpants, as it turns out, yeah.
That's too much.
Yeah,
Never
sorry.
went to bed.
Too
You
much
stayed up,
information.
probably.
Yeah,
I wish sometime we have to get Statman Joe in.
Yeah.
Because yesterday he was coming out with some of the most outrageous nonsense.
I don't know if it was a drink talking. He was like, but he was.
No, he's like that all the time.
He did that right at the start, didn't he? Before he'd even had a beer.
Yeah, he was very aggressive. He's not been on with us. He's been listening to the show.
Yeah, it was pent
It's
up.
been building up,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
yeah, and
especially the Italian-Canadian thing, who you should support. He was.
Yeah.
He was living.
I don't think we need him to actually say it himself. We can't be because some of the things he was saying were very controversial yesterday. Although you do like to dig people out by saying what somebody has said when it's not been on air. But I will. I'd like to get Joe on. No, you've done that a few times, haven't you? You know when people say things in the green room or wherever we do, having a chat, and a cup of tea or a coffee.
I always give you a heads up. I always say, I'm going to mention that.
No, but it is irrelevant when you give us a heads up or not.
You could then say, oh no, that was a stupid opinion. I don't want that going out on air. You could.
I'll be
protect
honest.
Yourself before.
If I'm talking about something,
you usually double down.
No, if I'm talking about something.
When we expect you to sort of reel it back in, you're like, you go even more.
What are we talking specifically here? What are we talking? Cristiano Ronaldo being a top 20 footballer, which I did not say, by the way. I said he's a top 5 at the time. But anyway, I'll own it. I'll own it.
You said he was top 5?
I said top 5 on the podcast last week. If you listen, I said he was top 5.
After about 2 minutes of his answer about why he wasn't top 20.
No, I get what he was trying to say.
I get what he was trying to say.
Yeah. But I would say again.
How was your week, by the way?
It was
with
another
Ronaldo
week.
Fans?
I need someone to tell me how I can turn my DMs off on Instagram because there was a lot of people. There was a lot of people that messaged me on Instagram and various social media platforms. I would say not too many kind words came my way this week. Yeah, there was one or two things that would hurt people's feelings if they weren't other way inclined. I was kind of like water off a duck's back.
Well, that's what we're here for, to give opinions, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, cause some debate, some discussion. It's not as serious as people think. It's just an opinion. But I got to say, Joe Del Busso was in that state because Christian, Jack and I, on the drive through to meeting up,
you'd been winding him up.
We were winding him up, something rotten.
Yeah.
Just poking him.
He came in angry. He was angry when he arrived. Yeah,
we were really getting him in the car.
Okay. Anyway. Well, I think at one point we'll get him in so that in the new year he can explain himself,
clarify his thought process.
But just for people to think about as they're going over this holiday period, to prepare themselves for Joe, can you support one team in football and a different team in hockey? You know what I mean?
Not a national team.
No, not the national team.
Well, exactly.
You have one national team.
Well,
and that's it.
You can imagine where that was going, right? With Statman Joe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what disappoints me most about it.
Yes.
It's about how good the team is, not exactly how patriotic you are.
That's correct. Yeah. You don't support a team if they're bad or if they're great. You support them through the bad and the good times. That's what you need.
Especially your national team.
National team.
It's in your heart. It's in your heart. You know, I've had 15 years of heartache. So maybe 20 years of heartache.
Also had a tough day yesterday.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
He did. We'll leave it at that and move on. Last week, a lot of the conversation was about Dayne St and where he might end up, and Canada's #1.
Yeah.
We did race for the roster again this week. He's done nothing again.
No,
nothing again.
I wanted to sit in on it this week and watch it just to see.
Well, you were late.
Yeah. No, I wasn't late. I wasn't late. No. No, I was planning on getting in for the usual time.
We usually get in.
I know, but I had family. I had family responsibilities this week, and usually I drop the kids off at school and then get in.
You didn't miss much.
No, if he didn't have time to change his underwear, he didn't have time to get here on time.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
Not a lot of changes, guys.
No, but Dane St. So Dane St Clair.
Right.
All the reporting is, and it's not been confirmed yet, although it probably will an hour after we finish taping this, because that's what happened with Miami stuff last week after he'd signed him for Preston and you'd sent him for Celtic. So pleased for Wilfred, Nancy. We can talk more about that later. He's going to Miami. Yeah. He's in the best team in MLS.
Yes.
By virtue of them winning MLS Cup. Don't need to get into any arguments about who anybody else thinks might be the best team in MLS. They proved it. With the best player, Lionel Messi. Yeah. He's in that environment down there. Is he now? Does that move make him Canada's #1? So he says no. He's not locking him in yet.
I probably agree with him. I don't think it can be locked right now. If he would have gone, let's be honest now. He's not. I think he's taken the safe route.
Yeah.
He's thinking, and maybe that's with the World Cup in his mind, that he didn't want to rock the boat and go somewhere.
It's the sensible route.
The sensible route. That's it.
Some of us take a more sensible in our decision making than others.
But
some take gambles.
Some take gamble. That's correct. Yeah. But
I mean, wouldn't the safest thing have been to re-sign in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the safest.
Yeah, but I think staying in the MLS is safe. I know staying at Minnesota, stay where you're known and what you've done in the past, and I get that. But staying within the MLS is a safe move for him. He's established now, MLS goalkeeper of the year, so it keeps him in this environment that he's got that safety net, that he's well respected here. Yeah. And I think it would have been a risk if he did leave to go to Europe. We spoke about options where they could have been, and I mean, I don't know. I'd love to maybe ask him that question. What was on the table for him? Because sometimes when you hear rumours of a player going somewhere, you don't have offers.
Yeah.
You know, when we were both playing, how many teams were rumoured to be signing you without any offers coming your way?
You never knew anything about it.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Because it was all just rumours, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. So you can't go on the fact is that a team is rumoured to sign him. But I think by staying there, in answer to that question though, I don't think he should be locked in, because let's see where Max Crepeau goes.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we need to look at as well, and let's see how they start the season. I think the #1 should have been decided by now. That's where I stand on that. I think that would be easier for him and Crepeau. I think it would be better for Canada, I think, going forward, but that's not to be done, and Jesse Marsch wants that competition still open going into that March window. So the first month of the season will be vital for how they both dictate to Jesse Marsch.
Yeah, I mean, we feel like he's leaning towards Dane St Clair, obviously. And when you ask the question, look, is he the #1? I think he is the #1, but I don't know if he's locked into that position, because there is still some doubt. Yeah. And I think because of the fact that Max Crepeau is a leader within the squad of Canada, and he's got he's well respected, as is Dane, but Max is one of the leaders. I think that's why he's keeping it open a little bit as well, just to make him feel like he has an opportunity to grab that jersey back from Dane St Clair.
Reports suggesting as well that he took less money to go to Miami than to sign in Minnesota.
He went to the best team in MLS.
Well, that's the thing.
He wants to win the MLS Cup, and that you want to win trophies as a player, you do.
Some people are looking for the best deal. Some people, like, you look back at the end of your career, and what did you win? Right, and he goes to a team that is in with a chance of winning Champions League, winning MLS Cup, playing with, as Kev would say, the second greatest player of all time.
I'll stand by that one as well. Yeah.
Every stadium's going to be packed. He's going to be playing in front of the biggest crowds. It's going to be high profile.
Does that environment help him more going into being a World Cup #1 for Canada than if he'd stayed in Minnesota?
Yes. Yes, for sure. He's made a better move within MLS by going to Miami.
I think his profile will obviously rise as well off the back of that, won't he?
And there'll be more scrutiny on him as well, Kev. You know, he'll need to play well. If he makes mistakes, there'll be higher profile mistakes, and everyone within the league will know, because everyone within the world, I would say, that's the first result people go to when they think about MLS. How did Miami get on? So I commend him on that, and we don't know if he had offers for Europe. I'm guessing maybe not. and maybe not the kind of offers that he wanted, because I do believe that this was his window to go to Europe. And by signing with Miami, maybe there's a clause in there. Maybe he has a great World Cup and he can still go to Europe. But I think that's probably closed on him now as he heads towards 30.
New stadium as well in Miami.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
amazing.
I mean, it's a great move for him.
Yeah, I think it is a great move, and I think he'll probably have more to do at Miami. I don't know the statistics from both goalkeepers last season, but Dayne St won't make as many saves as he did at Minnesota. He wouldn't have had as much to do as he's going to get at Miami.
The more defensive team, aren't
exactly.
they?
They'll be way more open. He'll have a lot more to do. He's probably got to command his area a little bit more as well. Obviously, coming off his line, I think it's going to help Canada with the style that Jesse Marsch wants to play. I think they will be playing a high line Canada, as we know, so he's going to have to be a little bit more open to that, I think, as well. So, as I said, he'll have more to do, I think, and it's an exciting move. I understand why he's done it, but and with you, what were his options? Would he get the money in Europe that he gets within the MLS? Probably not, I think, because of the club that he was probably maybe going to go to.
Since we were last here in Graham Leggett's, Jonathan David was named Canada's Men's Player of the Year. I think the top three were Ali Ahmed, Tejon Buchanan, and Jonathan David. Did you vote?
Didn't vote, no.
Would you have voted for Jonathan David?
Probably. I think
and it's club and country.
The criteria.
It's not just for country.
Richie Laryea, I would say, has been Canada's in the Canadian jersey. He's been Canada's best player in the last year.
Jonathan David, I think, scored the most goals of any player for Canada, and obviously had that great Champions League run. Got to move to Juve as well.
And you know what, as well, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But turning up for the Gold Cup with his contract situation, that to me said everything about the character of him. So he went way up in my estimations by doing that across the summer as well. So, you know, I don't think you'll ever see me giving stick to Jonathan David, even if he misses a sitter from 2 yards, because he's gained that much respect for me with what he did.
With the work that he does and the guy that he is.
And that's why you made the comment about if he scores no goals for Juve, he's still starting for Canada at the World Cup.
Yeah, he's that important to Canada.
Definitely, he's too important to Jesse Marsch's system and everything,
Take out the club situation. If this was Canada's Men's Player of the Year based on performances for Canada over the calendar year, does he still get it as the top scorer who played in every game?
No, I would have gone Richie Laryea.
Richie Laryea.
I think Richie Laryea had such an impact on this team across the year that at the start of the year, we were... Look, he absolutely wasn't going to be the left-back, was he? He wouldn't have played because we were looking at Sam Adekubi as being in great form for Vancouver. He was going to be the guy that potentially could free Alphonso Davies up. But it shows in football, when you get a chance, you have to take it. And Richie Laryea has taken his chance like probably no other player or not many players have done it for Canada in the past. I've not seen a player that's maybe been on the periphery, because he wouldn't have been on the periphery so much in his Canadian career. But under Jesse Marsch, it looked like he wasn't going to play right back ahead of Alistair Johnson, and he wasn't going to play left back ahead of Alphonso Davies, certainly with Adekubi. So it looked like he was 2 or 3 in both positions. And for him to grasp it the way that he's done, and I feel as though that I feel now his form should be a lock in your side like he is, and I feel as though that he should be starting. His form is I know he's got to continue it into the new year, but there's only 2 games. So the 2 games are fairly irrelevant to me. I think his body of work that he's done in the last 10 games suggests he should start next summer at the World Cup.
Okay, so if this is a park the bus, Canada Men's National Team Player of the Year, only on performances for Canada, who are you giving it to?
I'm still going Jonathan David. Yeah. I still think over the course of the year, he's still been Canada's best player. He's still Canada's most important player. I agree with Kev. Laryea has been in sensational form since the...
And you can see Ali Ahmed in
since
there
the summer.
Well, quite
Ali
rightly.
Ahmed's been great as well, So I think consistency is a big thing, but David is still the man, and I think he still deserves it.
Well, I was going to suggest that we award it, but now that you two are split, and I would have to be the deciding factor.
You don't want to do it.
Let's move on.
What do you think?
Who would you?
Give an opinion.
Let's move on to
No, you have to give an
something else
opinion on
right
it.
now.
You've seen Canada play for
They're
the
both
last 20
good.
years.
They both did very well this season.
Always sitting
I
on
think
the
they're
fence,
both
isn't
good. Talking of Jonathan David, the strangest story this week about, and here's the quote from Spalletti that came out. The strangest story, you know, and we've seen a lot of it in Scotland. With Wilfred Nancy. How things just like take off. Like it just gets ridiculous. More so maybe in Scotland than in Italy. But the stories were coming out about Jonathan David being excluded for team dinners because he's quiet, that kind of thing. And then towards the end of the week, players were coming out posting on Instagram with their arms around Jonathan David and stuff like that. I mean, he is. That would be me. If I went somewhere, I would be not
quiet.
I would
sit
be
in the corner. He's not a loud
I'd be
guy.
home, not going to team
He's
dinners.
at a new club. It's a new language. Like, what do they expect? He is going to be quieter. He's going to take some time. I've spent a lot of time with the boy. He's a great lad. He's a lovely guy. He's polite. He's got all the attributes that people like in players. As you mentioned, his stuff on the pitch, Kev. So there's no way. It's a load of rubbish. There's no way that he maybe never went to a dinner or didn't want to go, or, he is a quiet, reserved, introvert type guy.
You know, when you look at, I'm just thinking now, some, English-speaking players that went abroad, someone like Gareth Bale who went to Real Madrid. He was as good as anybody in the world during his first couple of years at Real Madrid, but he was still the guy that they used to question and get a lot of stick and would slaughter him because he didn't bond. Didn't learn the language, which apparently he did, but he didn't bond socially with a lot of the team, and it went against him. Certainly within the media, maybe players didn't necessarily back him up. So it's worrying when you hear that. That's the only thing I would say. It's worrying when you hear it because it becomes a trend then going forward that the media pick up on it, and then he could be the guy that they are almost saying.
Yeah. So what I'll say, Luke, is the best guys that transition from, say, South America and England, the guys we've played with, are the ones that sort of integrate themselves into British life, let's call it, or Italian, or wherever you go, And so you have to make a big effort, don't you, in the beginning? And you think of some of the guys you played with, Kev, who didn't make that effort, and it didn't quite work out for them. And then others who did. I think a guy like Norberto Solano, who came to Newcastle and just integrated himself into Geordie life, British life, and he was loved by everyone. But he also had this extrovert personality, Nobby. He was a great guy. He played the trumpet. He was very flamboyant.
That makes him a great guy.
No,
he played the trumpet.
He was such a colourful guy, Nobby.
Nobby was a great lad.
What a guy, yeah?
Great lad, Nobby.
So he's an example of someone that I think came and just said, I got to immerse myself in this way of life. And David's not done that. He maybe needs to do a bit more of it.
I'm thinking about Norberto Solano sitting around the locker room at St James's Park playing, is it Hometown Hero, the music that they play? He's playing it on the trumpet. They all go out to
he must have learned that one. Local hero, yeah.
Local hero,
yeah. Mark Knopfler, brilliant.
I don't know. I have a difficult time thinking that whether a player is successful or not at a club comes down to whether or not he goes out for dinner.
I know, but it does. Ultimately.
Really?
Because it becomes a thing. And that's what I'm saying.
But do you think it's the same now? Because we get there's a lot of, I understand.
It depends what the culture of that club is.
Bond.
I understand, but now you talk to managers who've been there from all the way through, and they say players now have their headphones on, they're on their phones in the locker room, they're not there's not that kind of...
But that's why a lot of managers like to have that sort of bonding session with the players.
If you're having a team meal, it's an important one then,
I had Liam Brady when Giovanni Trapattoni was our manager, as our assistant, Liam Brady, who famously went to Juventus. And he told stories about he'd go out and they'd have a glass of wine the day of a game in Italy. They'd have a glass of wine, they'd go out and play a game, and he thought that was totally alien to them. But if they went out on a Tuesday afternoon, they'd have a couple of glasses of wine. Liam was... Right, where are we going now? Where's the party? Ready to get 4 or 5 more beers? It was like, oh, we're done. We're going home now. So it's not like it maybe used to be, where certainly in England, where you go on and they'd have 6 or 7 beers or something like that, or double the amount, whatever you want to say. But that in Italy, the culture was always a couple of glasses of wine. So for him not to do that, I think it's inexcusable. I think you have to respect the club that you're going to, what's expected of you, not just on the pitch, but off it, around the team as well. I do think you have to do it.
Well, that's why I came out to the Park the Bus Christmas thing yesterday.
You didn't want
just for a couple of hours.
Yes.
Even though I'd rather be sat at home
your burger
doing something else.
Get
my burger.
Sat at home on your own, doing
Christian asked me, is Luke coming? Luke will come. He'll sit for a bit, order a burger, eat it, then go. Exactly what happened. Exactly. I just called it.
I did have somewhere to be,
Yeah, you did.
Kids' games.
You should get back.
Did you, under Trapattoni, can you imagine what would have happened if you'd had seafood pasta and put Parmesan on it? Because to be fair, Spalletti, I mean, he handled it brilliantly.
Yeah.
Right? So this was the quote when he was asked about Jonathan David not getting included for meals. Yeah. And he said he grated Parmesan on seafood pasta and they didn't invite him again. Right? So... just making light of the situation. Right?
Oh, it's a load of rubbish, isn't it? Really,
It is. But what I'm saying is that the little things, look, we look at Wilfred Nancy now, and maybe have a chat around him later, but what's happening at Celtic, it's not, I mean, no, the team aren't playing well, we know that, but they're picking up on all the minor thing, the small detail.
Yeah.
That's what's happening with Jonathan David. Because he's not performing on the pitch, they're picking up on all different aspects of why he's not performing. And that's where these things do become a thing.
Yeah.
And look, as much as we think it's nonsense, which it is, these are the things that you have to do just to go through it for the team.
Whether or not Jonathan David was left out of team dinners, hits pretty close to home this weekend with the bus.
Yeah.
Party organizer here.
I got a public apology.
Party organizer here left out somebody from the Park the Bus Christmas event.
Did you? I think it's
It
more
was
of
a
a
mistake.
TSN soccer.
TSN soccer,
party,
for sure.
It was a big mistake.
Basically, anyone who's been involved in TSN, well, a lot of people have been. I'm sure you left more people out as well.
Yeah,
although, to be fair, on the message, he was a bit slapdash with the message. He did say one of those where anybody who's not on here, please invite them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, think about who your mate is, and then send a message to them if they're off the list. You know, I just went on a team list that we had heard from a Canada game a few months ago, and I just assumed that everyone was on it, which was my mistake.
But I would say within that,
I should have checked.
As the organiser,
absolutely should have checked. Absolutely should. You're the guy, the standard bearer of captains in my mind.
Captain.
You're the ultimate captain that's got to sort everything out.
If I did this when I was playing, I would never have
if I'm picking out names, obviously Stephen Caldwell, Luke Wileman. I'm thinking the boys like obviously Statman Joe. We got Greg. We've got Owen. We've got lads Matthew Shinetti. We've got Camilla.
Who?
What?
He wasn't there.
Obviously Matthew wasn't there yesterday. Yeah. You didn't invite him then, no?
I totally assumed that Matthew was on the Canada soccer list because it was a Canada game from a month or two ago, and it was the one game he missed. I think he was at the CFL.
Have you spoken to him?
I sent him a text.
Did you speak to him?
I owned it, as you guys know.
Yep.
I owned it. I said, Matthew, made a big mistake here. Just realised you're not on the list. Sincerely apologise for that. Love it if you could still come. This is at 3 p.m. We started at 2.
Yeah.
Love it if you could still come. I know it's far away.
What time did you
Wasn't
finish?
happy.
No,
Wasn't happy.
no, quite right.
I think we need to sort this out.
Quite
actually.
right, yeah.
I don't want this to fester. I think
it did.
Matthew
He was
need to
disturbed
sort
by
this
it yesterday.
out. Was.
He was.
Yeah, it does affect him that because he's a good guy like that.
On that.
The best thing was, so he's looking around, being the captain, right? Being the guys looking around everyone. Where's Shinetti?
I was just fuming he never came.
It's an hour. We're an hour. He's an hour late. He's an hour late. And then someone said,
Did you
invite him?
I went, yeah, he's on the list. I don't think he's on that list.
You've killed him. I think Matthew.
This is a public apology to Matthew. I'm very sorry he never made it.
Are you going to invite him on?
I think we should have him on. Yeah.
That's twice he's fallen out with. I do actually think to make up for it, because I think he would enjoy being able to put the record straight about the Italian-Canadian thing.
Yeah, we got to get him on.
Because you've upset him, you two, you've upset him twice. In the last week or so.
Yeah. Well, I saw him at a party last Saturday.
Well, it's more him, the Italian-Canadian thing.
I saw him at a party last Saturday, and he wasn't too happy about that.
So I don't want to lump you in with that.
No, exactly. Like, you know, I'm from immigrants myself, so I know how it is to be an immigrant. You know, so I know this. You know, second generation, third, whatever you want to call me. So
well, we won't
explain that. We'll get him in.
We won't reach out. We'll wait and see if he is listening.
Because
if maybe he's just exactly. Maybe he's thought, well, that's it. I'm done with them.
I'm going to send him the. Right? I'll send him the link. If he's still, I think he blocked me.
Anyway, Wilfred, you talked about Wilfred Nancy.
Yeah.
By the way, the great picture of him when he got looking at the skies when that final whistle went yesterday.
2 minutes away from
very late again.
2 minutes away from probably losing his job.
Oh my gosh, probably.
What I would say in his defence this weekend. They must have created 10 chances.
Yeah. Oh, more than that.
They should have won. They should have won 6 or 7 of them across
I saw
the game.
somewhere where it said they had the XG. Yes, the highest XG they've had in a long time.
Yeah.
And people are starting to say, well, yeah, they can't defend, but Celtic fans, because you know how you search one thing up, and then all of a sudden my feed is now like all Celtic, and it's like, actually, this guy might know what that was the most entertainment I've had watching Celtic. Blah 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 blah. But please, can we defend?
Yeah.
Why is he still playing one central defender in a back three? Stuff like that. But it said it was the highest, it was the equivalent XG of 8 penalty kicks.
Really?
That's crazy, isn't it?
So what was the XG then? 9 or something?
I can't remember, 8 something.
Yeah,
8 or 9 or something.
I don't think I've seen it that high.
Yeah.
Well, that was the point. And yet they need a striker or 2.
Yeah.
The dilemma for Celtic is always, they want to see that football domestically, but they expect success in Europe. And it doesn't translate, does it? When you come up against a higher level of opposition, you need to be more defensive. So you've got to be adaptable. And the one thing about Wilfred is he's not adaptable, is he? He's got his style and he'll stick to it. Even if he loses his job, as he's proved this last 2 weeks, he's going to go for it his way.
He's very intelligent.
Yeah.
Some of the missteps that he's made, do you think it's him just, like, for example, going to McDonald's with your kids in Glasgow, right?
And everything comes out, doesn't it?
Especially when they've lost 4 in a row. Is that him just saying, I don't care, I'm living my life?
I'm living my life the way I've always lived it.
It's not him, or is it him not knowing what the situation that somebody... Like, there was even a Rangers player yesterday. Even a Rangers player yesterday got pulled over by the police, and within about 20 minutes, the Celtic fans putting it on there, like, more points off the pitch than on it today. But Richie Larea mentioned it with Piccolinos or whatever, in Nottingham, and that was a small thing.
But like, he knows what it's like living in Glasgow, what it's like there.
So he knows, but he just wants to do it anyway?
I think so. I just don't know how long he'll keep it up, because everywhere he goes, he is going to get bothered. And I think eventually that'll affect you as well. You'll say to yourself, I don't want to be bothered by Celtic fans coming up, want to chat about the game. Rangers fans want to abuse them. So it's going to come from all angles.
It's hard when you're with your kids and people are up to you constantly. It is hard.
Well, in the North East, it's the same thing.
It's really hard when you just want to, I don't know, whatever you're doing. You're in the park with the kids or something, and you just want your kids just to... And your attention's taken away from your kids. And I can only imagine what it's like for Wilfred Nancy up there in Scotland. So it is difficult. And I remember talking to Neil Lennon about it, the old Celtic manager, around this. And
Lenny was one of the, the sort of most divisive figures.
Yes, exactly.
Because of the way he played and the things he did.
He had bullets sent to him in the post, because of obviously his connections. An Irish guy playing for Northern Ireland, but obviously managing Celtic. So obviously that was more divisive than it ever needs to be, my opinion on that. But I mean, that's the way it was. And he was saying living in Glasgow was a killer. And that you've got to live out of it. When he was a player, I think he lived like Edinburgh, which is an hour away. That's the only way to do it.
There was a period where I think, I might be getting this wrong, but I think Lenny lived in the West End of Glasgow, which is a lovely little area and nice pubs, restaurants, and when Lenny would go out, he would just, for the side, he would get smacked in the face and stuff like that. It was horrendous. He couldn't even go for a beer or a meal and watch somebody coming over and sometimes assaulting him. It was that bad. Horrible.
But that was Rangers fans not liking the Celtic thing. This was Wilfred Nancy, who's probably his own fans, and the Rangers fans were applauding him.
Exactly. It'll only be...
It's just a couple of missteps. Like, he said something...
He's so stubborn, though.
He said something like, I know about Scottish football because I almost went to Carlisle when
Did he really say that? Is that just...
That was the quote, and then it takes off, right? But that's what was said in the...
I think what he's going to do is he's going to do it his way, and if that means he loses his job in 1 week or 1 month, he's just going to do it like that. He wants to set the tone.
Where do we feel that if he loses his job within a month or two, where does that leave MLS coaches?
In big trouble,
in Europe,
well, he's the best,
in Britain,
as well.
Wherever. Yeah, exactly. He's the best, and it isn't a good look for MLS people, because people that have come out of the MLS or coached in the MLS that have gone to Europe, it has been negative, certainly at the end of it when they've gone there, isn't it? So it's a difficult balance, I think.
Should we be looking at it from a more philosophical point of view, though, not MLS or Britain or whatever, but whenever guys get time and resources, there's usually leads to success.
Yes.
And take Arteta as an example. You got a long time, there's a few points where people are saying he should be fired, but they kept backing him, they kept giving him the resources to go buy the players that he wanted for the style that he was trying to implement. And he's potentially on the verge of winning the English Premier League. He's top at the moment. Guardiola obviously is never going to get fired any job he's ever in, but he's been in there a long time. And once you get 1, 2, 3 seasons, there's success. And so to the point of Celtic is, if Wilfred Nancy gets 2 or 3 windows in a bit of time and keeps up with his style, and people realise that he's there to stay, and if you want to play in this team, you have to adapt to this style, I think Celtic are going to be better for it. So
I think
I hope they stick with him.
I hope they stick with him. But you look at it on different managers that have been. If you look at it, managers that have been in at Arsenal, Unai Emery, who now is probably the best manager in the Premier League with
Also
his resources, given time.
Just getting better and better every year.
Remember what happened at Arsenal with
Yep.
him? And you think to Jurgen Klopp, what he did at Liverpool, he had barren spells for 3 or 4 years before he won the Champions League. And it was how he integrated, though, to what was expected of him to be Liverpool manager, how he got the fans on side, and whether that's going to functions and showing face and being out there, I suppose. It's difficult to say to do that at Celtic because of that scrutiny that you're always under.
Yeah.
But the tweet that he supposedly put out, which was those two circles, what matters and doesn't matter, and
the bit in the middle.
This sort of thing doesn't do you any good.
Doesn't.
It doesn't when things are going wrong. It's a bit of BS. We have to say that, but ultimately, in a club like Celtic, it's about winning, and you have to win instantly.
One of the best managers I ever worked with was the late great Walter Smith. I worked with him with Scotland. What a great guy! What a man! And he obviously was a very famous Rangers manager. And in his front hallway at his house, I might have told this story before, but he had 2 back page headlines. One was Walter Smith, worst manager in Rangers history. And 2 years later or whatever, Walter Smith, best manager in Rangers history. And he says, I look at them every day and I remind myself, I'm not the worst and I'm not the best. So you have to learn how to cope with life in Glasgow and keep it, because he could go and win 15 games now, Wilfred Nancy, and he'll be the greatest thing since sliced bread, and everybody will be going on and on about it. And he has to just keep that lid on it and understand what he's trying to achieve.
And
he
is
does.
like that.
He does that.
He is. He's very...
And this is why he says it doesn't matter about winning and losing. Because his point is, it's about the process, and you understand that.
But you can't say that.
You don't say it, because it is about winning in Glasgow, Celtic and Rangers. You have to win every single game.
And it's interesting that, one of the players that Wilfred Nancy could really do with right now is Alistair Johnston. Who's still a few weeks away from being back towards fitness.
I think he was still on crutches a week or so ago.
Is that right? Yeah.
So it's going to take a bit of time, and he's not going to rush that. He can't afford to.
But we've talked about it before. You've got him he's probably been the model of how you go in. You have to perform as well, but he has taken to Scottish life.
Exactly.
And life in Glasgow and what a Celtic player should be and how you interact with the fans. And he's done it absolutely perfectly.
They love him.
Even to the point where every sentence he now says I at the end of it instead of A. He's basically become what they would want a player to be.
Exactly.
And you've got Derek Cornelius on the other side as well at Rangers as well. So now you've got 2 key Canadian potentially starters at the World Cup who are getting the experience of, and we talked about Dayne St, and is he going to be better for going to Miami? These 2 guys are going to be better for going to go and play in that situation in terms of being ready to play in a World Cup with the pressure that comes.
Definitely.
There's not much bigger as a club than having that pressure of Celtic or Rangers. So
and it's a little bit like St Clair in terms of going to Miami, and Miami being everybody's cup final. When you play for Celtic or Rangers, whoever you play, it's their big day, especially if it's away from home. So it's really difficult to function in that environment. And I think mentally it certainly makes you stronger. This year is a unique year as well, Kev, because Hearts are top of the league and they're really in the hunt. Celtic Rangers are not at the levels they've been at.
Beat Rangers
comfortably
over the weekend.
I watched it, Kev, bits of it, maybe like 25, 30 minutes. It was a 2-1 in the end, but they were 2-0, should have went 3-0. They were really playing them off the park, so...
Well, if he can get a couple of wins, and then obviously there's that match you might go to in
I'll be at that. I'll be at that
Rangers.
game. January 3rd.
January 3rd, Celtic Rangers. I mean, if Nancy...
He's going to be...
Is it at Parkhead?
It's at Parkhead.
So if he wins that
he's got
at
Livingston
home,
away,
he's got...
Livingston away, Motherwell away, between Christmas and New Year, and then January 3rd is the Old Firm.
Wow.
He must win every game, including the Old Firm, to build up that little bit of equity and goodwill.
Into the new year, absolutely.
Really.
Definitely.
That's more than enough Scottish football.
Yeah.
More than enough.
I love that. That was my favourite part of the bus.
Did you ever have a coach who came into the club and within 4 games, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the dressing room wasn't having him? Because there was some question about, are the players done with Wilfred Nancy already?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah.
But you guys have said in the past, like sometimes 2 training sessions and the players are like, I'm not having this guy.
I would say yes. Yeah. We were at Sunderland, Peter Reid got fired, and it was probably the worst spell that we were having at Sunderland because my first 2 years in Sunderland, I think we finished 7th twice. Unprecedented success that the team were having, certainly in the top flight.
Yeah.
And then Peter Reid was fired, I think, 2 seasons after that, we had a really poor season, finished just 16th, 17th.
Yeah.
The next year, we were in the relegation zone, and Howard Wilkinson came in. And I actually really liked Howard. I liked working for him, but it was a total different change in approach. Absolutely, the opposite.
He was at the end of his career then, wasn't he?
Yeah,
like
I don't think he'd been coaching
Steve
for
Cotterill,
10 years.
right, as a kind of
Steve Cotterill was supposed to be the best coach in Britain at the time. That's what he was being billed as. Where was he manager of? I can't remember where he was manager. It might have been Stoke at the time.
Cheltenham.
He was at Cheltenham first, but he'd gone somewhere else.
I think it was Stoke. I think he was Stoke manager and did quite well, or he might have even gone after that. I don't know.
He was
but anyway,
manager at Burnley later, but that was after.
So Steve came in with him, didn't he? And there was a feeling of the crowd not wanting Howard Wilkinson because it was a bit of a bolt from the blue. You said he hadn't been. I think he'd been out for 10 years after winning the league championship with Leeds. He had great success there at Leeds and what he'd done to them. I think that was his last job before taking over, Luke, something like that. So he had a long time out of the game, and he ended up taking the job. And we went from, real high tempo sessions to basically everything was functional on the training ground. It was positional based, pretty much probably what Wilfred Nancy would be doing now at Celtic. Yeah. Functional football, position, if the ball's in that area of the pitch, you're 10 yards, distance is all over the field. And it was functional work every single day. A lot of video analysis when it was just coming into the game as well. A lot of technical talk and meetings off the pitch. And it was the total other end. And the players, in fairness, didn't have it. Have it. I'd say the fans didn't have it, but definitely the players. A lot of the players that Peter Reid had signed, and I think we got relegated that year, and he ended up getting fired before the end of the season. So he came in saying, I think it was October, November time, and he was gone by March, April. He probably only had 20 games. Yeah. And that's how quickly they knew. He maybe should have gone by Christmas. That would have given us a chance to stay up because of the feeling that was within the club and around the club. Yeah. And honestly, I probably played my best football at Sunderland with him as manager, which was ironic enough. But it just wasn't to be as a group, as players, and the whole club itself and supporters. It just wasn't happening for him, no.
Players look for excuses. We were the same. You look for excuses. You look for ways to... You're stuck in your ways, and so you want a familiarity in terms of what a manager brings, especially if the last guy was bringing some goodwill. So it takes a lot to kind of break players, and then what you have to do is you have to kind of break the structure of the dressing room or get in at the top and make sure it infiltrates down. So if a manager comes in and it's not working, it's usually because the leaders in that club are not seeing the vision. Because if the leaders are seeing it and believing in the guy, it starts to come down, doesn't it, Kev?
Yeah, it's true.
So I think...
Who did you have? Is there anyone that stands out with you?
We had a season at Birmingham where we had Chris Hughton, who was amazing for our squad. Just dealt with everybody in a great way, had us playing a style that really suited us. Then Norwich took him that summer. I think he went to Premier League at Norwich. We missed out in the playoffs to get up from Championship. And then we got Lee Clark. And I've known Lee Clark for 25 years before that. Looked up to him, what a great player, a great guy. But it just didn't work. Lee Clark just coming into that kind of Chrissy Hughton structure was it was off. It was the opposite of what you're saying, Kev, between Reedy and Howard Wilkinson.
Yeah, you went
the opposite, Became very fractured, let's call it. And so then you started to see the cracks in the dressing room. And me and Stephen Carr and a few others, Curtis Davies, the leaders in that dressing room were trying to keep things together for Lee Clark, for the club.
The players purposely say, I don't like this guy, I'm done. I'm like checking out in terms of performances.
Training ground.
Really?
So Lee Clark started having kind of arguments with players. He fell out with Keith Fahey and he fell out with somebody else. And so guys start talking. Guys say, I'm not having this guy, I want to leave. And you just hear it in the dressing room, you know what it's like. Yeah. And I was trying to keep a lid on it. Obviously, I was trying to... I looked up to him. He was a guy that I'd known. I wanted success for myself and the club and for him. But it was just like, it was trying to plug the dam and these holes were just appearing from everywhere. And in the end, it was just like, for me, untenable to be there and to try and support the guy because it just wasn't working. And that's actually when I came to Toronto. So I got to thank him for that because if I hadn't had such a bad season, I probably would never have left England. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Birmingham City, a big club, but they got smashed by Sheffield United at the weekend. As you mentioned.
Who's the most informed team in England at the moment, Luke?
In the Championship, Sheffield United.
Championship, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Playing well.
Yeah.
Wilder.
I'm going to be in the away end at Stoke City.
You
next
should
week.
not have announced that.
Taking
You'd be in trouble.
Taking two of the kids.
Yeah.
The first time
You've
they'll have been in the away end.
Cheer. They're used to soccer North America too much. So
no, I know, but they know. You know, in the away end, you can cheer for your own team.
Oh, of course, the away.
Right?
What am I talking
You're away.
Yeah.
I'm away at Stoke with the Blades.
Sorry, I thought you were in the
with
wrong
all
side.
of the in with all of the Sheffield.
Oh, that'll be amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, Hudson will love that.
Oh, yeah.
He will love that.
Could be a bit of trouble.
Yeah. Proper game. Stoke's proper club as well, so that'll be a great game.
The Guardian put out their regular top 100 on both the men's and the women's side. Dembele's number 1, Yamal 2, Vitinha 3, Mbappe 4, Kane 5.
Yeah.
You got Erling Haaland at 6. Obviously, we won't go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Your Ronaldo, who obviously last week you said he's not one of the best 20 players of all time, is at 51 in the Guardian
still in the
100 list.
Messi's
at
still
34.
on the list. Yeah. Let's just clarify. I didn't say he's not in the top 20. Let's just clarify that one again. But I feel like he's still in the top 100. I'm surprised he's probably in that top 100 now. When you look, he's still scoring goals in Saudi, but if he's playing in one of the top leagues, does he score goals as regular as he does in Saudi? And I would say no.
Well, he struggled at Man United, didn't he?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have struggled.
Don't go.
Yeah, let's not.
Don't
No,
go
but I
there.
know.
I was just referencing it. I don't need you to cause.
Are you happy with Dembele at 1, Kev?
By the way, just before you go there, Jonathan David was what was it, 74 last year?
Right.
73 last year. Didn't get in the top 100 this year.
Right.
No Canadians in the top 100. In fact, Donnarumma is the highest-ranked Italian at 13.
Just off that, Donnarumma.
There are 3 Italians in the top 100.
Made a couple of good saves this weekend. Donnarumma actually
great season last year.
Yeah, he's having a great season this year as well. Stevie, to be fair,
he's a good keeper.
He's a very good goalkeeper.
Good keeper.
No, but in relation to Dembele and Jonathan David, then Jonathan David dropped out of the 100. He's probably in there last year, obviously, with his form at Lille. The first 6 months of this season, he's been excellent for Lille, scored goals. Yeah. So, realistically, if you're looking at Dembele, first 6 months of this season, outstanding, won a Champions League. Understand maybe why there's so much to suggest that he's been... But the last 6 months, he hasn't been. He's not been at the level of Haaland, Kane, Mbappe. Mbappe's numbers across 2025, I think he's close to equaling, or he might have equalled, Ronaldo's record at Real Madrid across a calendar year.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at it like that, Kylian Mbappe should be number 1.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the full calendar year.
I think, I actually voted on this a couple of years ago. I got invited to vote on this, and it comes in early. You vote maybe, I don't want to say, but maybe like September, a couple of months ago.
And you get it,
And at that point, you know,
I get it.
Dembele was hot, wasn't he? PSG were the team. To me, you could have picked, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them in the top 15. You know,
definitely.
they were like really Vitinha, and I know he's
so what
up
did
high. Hakimi's there, isn't he, as well?
Well, Yamal's in here as well. And you look at Yamal, we said Yamal is still obviously world class. He's at that level, but he's not at the best player in the world level just yet, is he?
No.
And he's slowly rising to that level. And Yamal's numbers are not of Kane's numbers, Mbappe, and Yamal's above. And I get it, as I was saying the other week, it's not just about the goals, it's about the player that's within that as well, that what they can do off the ball, how they can influence the game and things like this. But Yamal shouldn't be 2, in my opinion, if we're looking
Maybe
at the full year.
Yeah.
But
is Pedri more important for Barcelona and Spain than Yamal?
Well, Yamal's almost...
Pedri's
Yamal's the poster boy now, though, isn't he?
But Pedri's
like
the
Messi, isn't he?
the tempo setter, and he's the guy. But he's a bit like Iniesta and Xavi, who in the end were heralded around the world. But it took them a few years to really become
how good
special, you know? So I think Pedri's going to be like that. I think every year people are going to understand and respect Pedri more, a little bit like a Modric as well, where as he gets older, you start to appreciate exactly what he brings to a team.
Yes.
Do you have to write 100 names down?
Or I think you write 40 names, and they have a sort of point system or whatever in terms of where they are.
What's your criteria for picking? Are you looking
it's so hard. It's
numbers?
So you did that once and then thought, this is too hard, I'm not going to do it again?
No,
and then skip the next year?
You know what? I think I was really busy. No, I got asked back, and then I think I was late or whatever, or couldn't get listed one year. So it was my fault. It was poor. I should have kept it up. Christian Jack's votes in this, and he was the one that got me invited in. But it's...
Who did KJ vote for?
I think he was Dembele for 1, KJ. I think. But
he got Villa's starting 11.
But it's hard, guys. It's hard. It's like us having these arguments on top 20s and best players. What is the criteria?
Yeah,
you know, what is important? Is it winning? Is it your team success? Is it goals? Is it saves? Is it defend?
Oh, I get
it's hard to quantify.
Scott McTominay is at 19. Was it
wow.
last week? One of you said he's not world class. Was it you said you said he's not world class?
Scott McTominay's not world class, no.
Best player in Serie A. Top 5 league in the world.
So he's world class, is he?
He's had the world class season.
Yeah, 19th best player in the world as well, is he?
How many?
He's going up every year, He's 15 one week, 14.
How many world class? I would agree he's having a world class time of things right now. The last year.
That was like an Infantino quote. World class time of things.
Today, I feel Scott McTominay should be world class.
I think so.
No, but how many world class seasons do you have to have before you are world class?
World class, no. World class is you. Again, I told you my criteria.
I know. So is he one of the top 10 in his position?
Top 5, I say.
He's top 5.
Top 5.
Is he one of the top 10?
Scott McTominay's a top 5 in this position.
No. I'm saying that's
your.
And he's not in the top 10 if you want to branch it out.
I'm saying that this thing's voted on seasons, right?
Yeah.
On how you did in a season.
Absolutely, and I get that.
And he absolutely deserves to be in the top 20.
I get
he's the best player in his
system.
team, who won the league, and he was the most influential player.
Player.
Just for clarity.
Excellent player, but he's not world class.
In 2025, is Scott McTominay one of the top 10 players in his position in the world?
What are we calling him? Are we calling him a number 10, a number 8? Because he's an attacking midfielder, isn't he? So if we start to compare him, we might be able to transition to an England chat in a minute, but to number 10s. Yeah. They've got 4 that are better than them right away.
Right. Yeah.
Rodgers, Foden,
Spain
Bellingham, and
Spain have. Germany have got
Palmer.
2 or 3. France have got 2 or 3
okay.
better than him.
Fair enough.
So, but what he does is...
I'm just trying to be nice to him because it's the holidays.
No,
is he better than Lionel Messi?
This is what I want to say.
Ask, yeah?
For what he does, he's a box-to-box guy. For what he does, because he doesn't.
You can't compare
not go
him
back.
to 10s.
Right. So I think he's one of these kind of like modern type midfielders where he's an 8/10.
Okay. Is he better than Tonali?
He's similar to Tonali, but he's not better than Tonali.
Right.
No.
Okay. Well, I think we've.
Well, yeah. There you go.
All right.
But he definitely deserves to be there.
Tonali isn't in the 100.
Top 100, mate.
Well, I mean, it's on a season's form, isn't it? Tonali.
Just saying.
Never done enough.
Oh, there you go then. That's why he's
Top
not world
player.
class. But he was very good this weekend.
If Real Madrid or Barcelona were looking for a midfielder, they would have Tonali ahead of the list, ahead of McTominay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Interestingly,
he's got more quality.
Yeah.
You've got...
he wouldn't be on the list anyway.
That must be Declan Rice at 15, but you've got Palmer at 12 and Bellingham at 18.
Yeah.
Here, we talk about England, and we were talking about this because England have got so many players right now that they've got to try and pick between in terms of the World Cup squad, and Morgan Rogers, who's a player that Thomas Tuchel likes,
best player
is
in the Premier
flying
League.
right now in the Premier League with Villa, and Villa are flying themselves.
Yeah.
But so you're talking about Bellingham, who is also in great form right now.
Great goal of the weekend.
Had
great
a bit
header.
of an issue with Thomas Tuchel in the past. Foden, Palmer, Rogers, Saka, Rashford, right?
Kane,
yeah, but he's a 9, right? He's a 9.
Yeah.
So, do you get all of those guys in the squad? Is somebody going to miss out? If one of those isn't going to play, do you leave them out?
I think he probably does, Tuchel. I don't know how Tuchel will be able to handle a huge name and the profile that player is carrying in itself, maybe the character that player is, but also the scrutiny that he's going to be under. Because any time one of those guys isn't playing well, they'll be straight at him. Why isn't Foden playing if he sat on the bench? I think it's an easier decision for him to leave.
But isn't it worse? Isn't it worse if you're not playing well and can't score and Foden sat at home?
But he'd probably look back at maybe what happened maybe in past tournaments and the pressure that Gareth Southgate was under by not being able to fit these guys in. You simply can't fit them all in. And this is his huge dilemma. All individually great players. And you look at Jude Bellingham, what he's doing at Real Madrid this season, probably his best season he's having at Real Madrid, I would say. Foden's having another standout season. Cole Palmer's had injuries, obviously Club World Cup when he was outstanding. And then you've got Morgan Rogers, who's probably the best player in the Premier League in the last 10, 12 weeks. So we know where it's going to go. We know that this is, in a World Cup year, Tuchel's going to be under so much pressure. That's going to make or break him. That's going to make England...
There's not a chance that one of them's not on the plane.
No, they have to be.
It's
an embarrassment of riches. It's so difficult.
Yeah, that's why England should win the
all
World
these world-class players.
Exactly,
you've got to somehow shoehorn into a World Cup squad.
But we keep talking about a World Cup that weather might play a factor and it might be grueling. Maybe you play one for the start for 60 minutes and then you bring
starters and
the other
finishers.
one on.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be important.
There is no way that one of Bellingham, Foden, Palmer, Rodgers, Saka or Rashford.
Well, I think Saka
could miss out.
He could.
Look, Saka plays. I think Saka will play on the
definitely.
right-hand side. You would naturally think Bellingham, but this issue you spoke of before with him and Tuchel, that could go against Bellingham. There is no way
you can't not have Bellingham.
Well, he didn't pick him for the squad, did he, recently?
He's made his point, whatever.
Kev, you know how I think.
Can you imagine Bellingham?
Players.
Imagine, though, what I would say to you now. Right? So Morgan Rodgers has the season and continues what he's doing. Villa could win the Premier League. They probably won't, but they could win the Premier League. Morgan Rodgers is Player of the Year. He has to pick Morgan Rodgers, surely. And then you're picking him or Bellingham. There's no way if Bellingham is in that squad and doesn't start a game, he can afford to have him on the bench. So Bellingham simply has to play the game. And if Bellingham's not performing, then what do? Do
you drop him?
Do you drop him? And this is the scrutiny. This is the problem he's going to have.
But do you convert Bellingham into an 8? You play Rice, Bellingham, and Rodgers or Foden or
We've
one
said
other?
this, but I don't think he wants the boy at Crystal Palace, doesn't he? He loves him, and he loves the boy at Nottingham Forest. I'm trying to think of names.
Elliot Anderson.
Elliot Anderson.
Yeah, he really likes Elliot Anderson.
And what's the boy at Palace?
Adam Wharton.
But do you not need that at the very highest level?
What,
A bit more solidity.
Well, there you go. How are you going to fit them all in then? Imagine dropping Jude Bellingham.
I always think you play your best players. I just think you got to get your best players in the team. Now, there's too many there to get every one of them in the team. But I think you can get Bellingham in as an 8. You play Rice, Bellingham, and one other. I would get Foden in the team. To me, Foden needs to play.
Anderson or Wharton will start alongside Rice 100% under Tuchel and how he likes to do it.
You probably need that. I mean, Rice and Anderson, they could cover every blade of grass.
That's right.
Fittest boys. And
I mean, there might be some group games. There might be some group games where you can afford to do that or whatever.
Yeah.
But
keep things fresh. Morgan Rodgers off the left.
I could see that's one you could see.
Because he drifts here a lot. I know he plays 10 with Villa,
Let's
but there's
be honest,
a bit of movement in that.
better than Rashford's
midfield. Yeah.
His form, but it's how we adjust. It might be one of those that, with Phil Foden, everyone's saying he should be playing as a 10. Gareth Southgate played him off the right. And he played there for City, in fairness. But just didn't suit how Southgate was lining him up. Didn't work for him, whether that was pressure, whether that was the system, I don't know. That's the dilemma he might have with Morgan Rodgers by playing him off the right. Because off the left, because Rodgers floats into that side of the field. But are you going to start him there and play? I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a big risk if he's going to play Bellingham and Rodgers in the same team.
And as good as every one of these names are, Palmer is the difference maker because he's the maverick that can do something really special.
He has
in a
to
game
be.
So
he
tight.
has to be in the squad.
Yeah, he'll be in the squad.
There's no way he's not in the squad.
Right.
Can you imagine them
I agree, by the way. If there's one of those that isn't, it's probably Rashford.
Yeah.
He's the easiest.
Yeah.
I mean...
He's playing at Barcelona, lads.
I know.
He could go and win a Champions
League.
League.
I would take them all.
What if he...
I would take them all.
Yeah,
I would take all of those guys.
Yeah, I would.
I think Tuchel...
By the way, he's been brought in, he's been given a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? To try and win a World Cup for England, which is not the easiest task.
Yeah.
Judging on the past.
As we know,
and also, they've had these problems in the past when it was like Lampard, Gerrard, that team.
Scholes.
How do you fit everybody in? How do you get the best out of them? And even today, when you hear some of those players talking about back then, they're like, well, we should have played this system, or we should have changed to this, and Sven never wanted to do this, or like everyone was always stuck in how they...
Yeah.
So Thomas Tuchel has to manage these players. That's why he's being paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you've got to take
he's not got to manage the players. He's got
to manage the situation.
Yes.
And he's got to have his best players there.
Yeah, I'm correct.
So, but what I'm saying is, as somebody who is supposed to be one of the top managers in the world, you can't be. Oh, I'm going to leave him at home because it wouldn't work with like.
But none of these guys will sit in the bench.
No way. Right.
So deal with it. Well, like you're the manager.
Right, look,
it's easy to say.
He's going to have the conversation. I can only imagine, right? He phones Jude Bellingham up or meets Jude Bellingham up for a coffee in Madrid or whatever. Jude, look, you might not start the first game. Can you just imagine that the starter, right? So he has this conversation managing play. There's no way Jude Bellingham will take that.
Yeah.
Or if he says to him, look, you're going to be my starter, but I'm going to take you off. I'm going to bring on Morgan Rodgers to finish the game. He's going to be my finisher. Hey, look at him.
Yeah.
What are you on about?
Yeah.
Okay, so... But at that point, and you've played at a World Cup.
That's how you manage situations.
The manager comes to you and says that. Don't you say, okay, if whatever the team needs?
I'm not Jude Bellingham, though. Jude Bellingham's probably the most...
So you'd rather miss a World Cup than fall in line? Like, if you know you've had a bad relationship with the manager in the past...
You're asking me that question.
I'm saying from his point of view, do you think he would rather miss a World Cup because he's not willing to toe the line with what the manager wants?
Yeah, well, saying
make it all about him.
There's no... Well,
it will be, yeah.
It will be.
The ego's on these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Enormous.
It will be all about him, absolutely will be. And this question will be constantly asked going into it, what's he going to do? Now, I understand what you're saying. You might as well just pick them to save the hassle of what... But I understand what... You listen to all the guys that you spoke about, the Gerrard, Scholes and Lampard, and you listen to all their individuals that's come out afterwards. They hated each other. They couldn't sit at the same table having dinner together because they all thought they were the best. Like Liverpool would sit on one table, Man United, Chelsea on a different table. Couldn't stand each other. Gareth Southgate did bring a lot of unity.
He broke all that down,
Broke it all down, he had to. But you then
And in fairness, sorry to interrupt you, Kev, the super clubs in England, it's not like that so much. Man United in Arsenal or whatever, there doesn't seem to be that rivalry there at the minute. Some of these guys are even playing abroad, you know. So I think in that regard, but the confidence and ego of these guys...
I know, that's exactly it.
They think they're going to be a difference maker every minute of the game.
There is no way Jude Bellingham thinks, I am not going to go to the World Cup and play every single minute of that game that I'm available for. I can play, I'm fit, I'm strong, I've got all the attributes to score a goal.
You know what I'd do?
But if he does and then plays really well...
Well, that's what I would do.
But then what do you do with Foden and Palmer?
No, but
Cole Palmer last summer at the Club World Cup, in the extreme heat, he probably showed a lot of people he could be a defining player for England. But this season, he's not been in the level he was. And he's been injured, so he needs 6 months maybe. So Cole Palmer, you naturally think Cole Palmer should be starting or at least finishing games. Cole Palmer sat on the bench in games. Pressure. You know what it's like? And I said it to you, but the thing that you said about substitutes warming up inside, that will probably be a relief for Tuchel if that is the case. But if he's on the bench and he's sat there, the camera immediately on him, it'll be in his face. Why is Cole Palmer not going on? Why is Phil Foden not getting on? And then England draw the first game or whatever. You can only... Well, you know how it works. You know how it works. You know... The pressure that's on those players has cost them World Cups and European Championships in the past, just simply because of the pressure, and it's down to
extreme.
This.
But say, for example, and I can't see it happening, but say he leaves Bellingham at home because he doesn't want, he's not going to have him in his 11.
So you're saying Bellingham shouldn't be picked and he should play Cole Palmer ahead of him?
I would play them all. I would play them all, just for the record.
Get out of town.
What I'm saying, though, is...
the 3-7 formation.
You're talking about...
Who's your defenders? Who's playing at the back?
Maybe I'd have Rashford on the bench.
You'd have him at left back or something like that.
Well, you could play Saka as a wing back, maybe.
I've always
you
could get him in the team.
Which side, right or left? I don't know.
No, but say whoever it is, if you choose to leave one of them at home because you can't guarantee them playing time, there's a problem there, then they draw 1-1. It doesn't matter whether they're on the bench. The whole of the media is calling for the fact that you're an idiot for leaving these guys at home.
But he's dealing with that internally, though. And that's something that...
Might be worse.
It might be worse. You're going out onto the training ground, you want to prepare the team for the second game, and this guy he's pissed because he's not playing.
He's not doing what you're asking.
That's what happens. That's what happens. These guys are...
He's on a hiding it nothing. Exactly. We hope one of them get injured. Does they have the problem?
That's exactly the scenario, the ideal scenario for him.
So if you're Thomas Tuchel, and I agree, by the way, that if as a player, you would want the manager to have that conversation with you now, or leading up to the March or whenever, not the night before the first game when you find out if you're Jude Bellingham, you're on the bench.
If I was Tuchel, I'd go to Madrid and I'd sit him down and say, you're my guy, but this is what I need from you. I need whatever he wants. Maybe he wants to play a mate. I need you to be there, here, there, and everywhere. And I'm sorry, but if you don't deliver, there's too many other good players. You'll be dropped. You'll be out of the team. So you almost, maybe not as blunt as that, but you almost try and instill what you want from their performance before you get there, and having them understand. They're not daft, these lads. They understand that the guy behind them is like an outstanding player. So, and they're actually all mates because they're kind of similar in age and sort of came through similar environments, you know. So I think getting the exact details into what you want from that player in an 11, whether he's playing 10, wide, whatever.
You say that with Bellingham, though. Bellingham, watching him this season, he's playing as a 10. He's the guy that's really in close proximity with Mbappe. Whether it's playing Mbappe through, obviously Vinny Jr.'s playing off that left-hand side for them. He's very close in that little triangle with them, how they're actually approaching games. This is the problem, I think, that he's playing a certain way for Real Madrid. He's probably going to expect to play the same way from Madrid as he does, as he does from Madrid with England.
If Rodgers keeps this up and Villa are real serious title contenders till the very end, He has to play because he is outstanding at the minute. He is unstoppable.
Can he and will they?
Great question. I mean, he can. I don't know if Villa can unless he strengthen with 2 or 3 players in January just to get them over the line.
They'll look to Leicester, won't they, as that might be able to continue it. But Leicester were top, I think, at this stage, and Leicester kind of got into position.
And it was a real freak year, wasn't it?
Villa's also Villa's better than Leicester, aren't they? Like in terms of... It wouldn't be
quality players.
Leicester's a small club, is it? Is that what you think, Luke?
Leicester's smaller than Villa. I'm not sure.
No, the players at Leicester I'm going to look here. Villa have got a way higher
just trying to wind me up.
Yeah, he's trying to get
I'm trying to pull a Luke.
He wants you to be the clickbait.
I'm trying to pull a Luke.
Here's the difference.
I like Villa as a kid.
Stupid, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
No, genuinely, I liked Villa as a kid, and that was largely down to Paul McGrath, who was my hero. So I loved him. So that's why I would love Villa. I would love Villa to have a good goal this year. Yeah.
But just on this, you didn't think, when we mentioned Bellingham, Foden, Palmer, Rodgers, Saka, Rashford, you don't think they can take all of them?
I don't think he will.
And if so, who misses out?
Well, judging from what he's done recently, I think probably Foden will miss out.
Foden won't win the World Cup?
If all those are fit going into the World Cup, I think he's the most likely to miss out of that. I think he's the most likely. I don't think he should. Foden's one of the best City players this year.
Yeah.
Well,
Foden can also play
Let's see.
midfield.
I'm really interested to see how he does it and how he's going to actually... That's his biggest problem.
I would squeeze them into the team.
That's his biggest problem.
I got Saka right wing back, Foden left wing back.
Okay. Imagine Foden trying to defend.
Marcus Rashford on the right of the back three.
Yeah. Foden can play anywhere.
He can.
Really? Saka, for me, is a definite starter.
Tuchel is very much, a training ground coach. Talks about this is what I said before. Positional. He's a modern day coach like that, position based. He won't give. He doesn't want to give them much freedom. It will be about when you get into the final third, you can actually have that little bit of freedom. But it's very much whether it's a 4-2-3-1, which looks like they'll play. It's a very much orthodox 4-2-3-1. Very little flexibility within that. That's your job. You do that job. And if you don't do that job, you're going to be out of the team. And you're out of the team and sitting on a bench. That's problems for Tuchel, I think.
Bellingham has had the issue, apparently, with Tuchel. We don't know the extent of that or what it is or where it will go. Talking of players having problems with clubs, Mo Salah is one of them. We're not quite sure where that will go right now, although with Alexander Isak hurt, potentially fractured leg, he's going to be out a long time. There's reports now, and it's just people making it up at the moment, that Salah, Liverpool will have to keep him now because Isak's not going to be there. They can't afford to sell to a Saudi club in January. We haven't seen a Mo Salah public apology in terms of what happened.
Well, he kind of did that by going up and clapping the fans, didn't he? It was a bit of that. It wasn't a statement, and granted, but it was almost as if I've give the fans something there. That's what it seemed to me. That was almost his apology.
There was some talk that he did address it in the locker room. But does that need doing publicly? And do you just then say, OK, let's carry on?
I don't think it needs to be done publicly. Not now. I think if he should have done it maybe a week ago. Just made a small statement. Look, I apologise, whatever he would have released.
But maybe he thought it was gone.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is now things change. If things change and he now has to be relied upon for the rest of this season for Liverpool, can that just be pushed aside?
It will be. It's done now. It's a non-issue. He's went away with Egypt to AFCON.
And he played well last week for Liverpool. I'm interested to see how he does at AFCON this week, or this month, should I say. I'm looking forward to the tournament.
The stadium looks incredible. They played in last night.
Yeah, what about that goal?
See the overhead kick? What was his name?
El Kabi. What a goal.
One of the best overhead kicks I've seen because...
The angle it's coming at.
The angle it's come at him, to adjust himself, and it was just so instinctive. Usually when overhead kicks coming in, you can... If it's more of a floated cross, and you can kind of gauge your position, turn your bodies. He
just reacts, doesn't he?
Unbelievable overhead kick. One of the best.
And his connection with the foot on the ball was just perfect. Bottom corner, what a goal.
It's a shame
Morocco favourites for that.
It's a shame that the AFCON sometimes gets forgotten a little bit. I mean, it shouldn't happen there's got to be a way where it can be given its platform, not in the middle of a season.
I know.
Well, the thing is, what I would say, just quickly on that, Copa and Euros are played usually the same year, right? And they never seem to clash. There's games that do cross over, but time zones and things like that, they clash. Because Europe and Africa are in the same time zone, they don't want it to clash. But I think ultimately you have to have it as a summer tournament.
I agree.
I think if they pushed it, I think it would be better. I think, for
they're
the players.
changing it, aren't they? I think they came out and said they're having AFCON, whatever you call the federation there, Nations League. And so they're going to go every 4 years. I don't know if they're going to go to summer. I never heard that. But they are going to, it's not going to be every 2 years. They're bringing a Nations League in Africa.
The tournament kicked off. We've already had drama. There was one team didn't train. There was, I think it was Cameroon. They had 2 different squads with 2 different coaches.
And all that was brilliant.
Because they reckon that Eto'o, and one of the guys that was off the list was
Abubakar.
He's going to break Eto'o's record, so he doesn't want him there.
Samuel Eto'o's president, I think, of Cameroon Association. So he's employed another coach to pick the squad. Abubakar wasn't on it.
That other manager said, no, I'm employed by the Minister of Sport.
Yes.
So I can't leave. Shambles.
Who says that politics and football can't coexist?
One is I want very, very briefly, Morocco. If they could win AFCON, can they win the World Cup?
If they win AFCON, they'll be one of the outside favourites to win the World Cup because of the form that they're in.
I'd say, well, obviously semi-final last time, last World Cup. So what they did and the energy that they showed across the World Cup, I don't see any reason why they can't do that because of the form they're in. Since the World Cup, the form has probably got better.
So what do we agree that Spain, Argentina, France, are we adding England to that as the favourites?
Oh, we've just spoke 5 names there. They're probably getting every team.
So they 4 are like
those
best,
players would get in every team.
I'm
glad you said that because if I'd said that, you would have.
So they 4.
No, I wouldn't. That's why I don't think England will win the World Cup. But they absolutely can, with those players that they've got. Midfield, defence.
But what I'm saying is they 4 are favourites, and then below that, we would say Germany, Brazil...
Morocco's in that second tier.
You've got that group of teams that you wouldn't be shocked if they went all the way, but things will need to fall for them for it to happen.
I agree with that.
They're maybe missing a really special player or someone in their team that gets them over the line, but they are teams, I think, that can go all the way with a bit of luck.
And the other one from that was, which is the crazier tournament, Copa America or AFCON?
They're on a par, aren't they? They're on a par.
Will be crazy. Things will happen in AFCON you'll never be able to believe. Every time. It never fails to deliver.
There'll be I would say there is... with South America, or with Copa, there's a lot more housery. In AFCON, it's 2-footed tackles.
Is that allowed, Greg?
Yeah.
Is that the second week in a row? You're going to have to bleep something?
Yeah, sorry.
Second week in a row.
Yeah, sorry.
We went about 20 weeks without Greg having to bleep anything. He has done 2 in a row.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't think African players necessarily wind each other up the way that the South American players do. But things will happen. The weather,
weird stuff.
The referees, things will happen within the game.
2 squads.
Yeah. Who's going to turn up?
Teams not trained the day before the game.
22 players
do you know
on the
what?
field.
I never actually saw.
22 players, 2
Can you imagine doing your prep?
What did happen at the end of that with Cameroon? Did we get any clarity? I never followed it through.
There must have been a resolution.
I didn't see the resolution myself. I would have liked to have known that. But I'm looking forward to it. I am as well.
I think
it was a good start.
And it's good prep for us for the World Cup,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
Great
watch all
one
the
for
teams
us
that are going to be
really
there.
Get a good look at Morocco. Properly good look at Morocco. And then the rest of the sides that's going to be in there as well that we know. Egypt, let's see how Mo Salah does.
I'm hoping to be at the final as well. I'm looking forward to it.
He's off on his travels again.
After
this, we're not going to see him again until
we still didn't get a chat around South America from him, did we?
Go on. Just tell us. This was weeks ago now. We've been trying to get it in. What was the highlight of your trip to... Where did you go, but what was your highlight?
So we had an amazing trip. We started in Colombia, went to Medellin. We went to Atletico Nacional game, which was wild. The supporters there are just absolutely crazy. That was phenomenal. Game wasn't so good, but the experience was great. Flew to Montevideo, went to Peñarol Nacional, which is the big derby there. Amazing match, great atmosphere. Kick-off delayed 21 minutes because the young supporters were climbing onto this fencing and they were announcing, come down, and then more would climb up. And it was mayhem, guys, mayhem. Not a great game. And then we went to Argentina. I think that was a highlight. The first game we went to in Argentina was Racing and River Plate in the playoffs. This old stadium, Cilindro, or something they call it, the cylinder, right? Unbelievable. Packed at the start. Everyone. Kids playing 5-a-side in this little area. Like I say kids, I mean like 4 or 5-year-olds running around, kicking the ball. Everyone in the stands, going wild.
It's an obsession, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. When Racing scored the winner, it was one of the best experiences I've ever had at that football game. The stadium was shaking like 8 inches. It was moving like this. I thought it was going to fall down, look. It was unbelievable. What an experience. Then to Rio, Vasco da Gama, went to Maracana. The football, the people, the passion for the game is like nothing you've ever seen. Kev was at the World Cup in Brazil. He understands it. look, we think we got it in the UK and we have a certain sense of fandom there, but these guys are crazy and their love for their club is just unbelievable. What an experience. I say anybody that loves football, if they can get to, we went to Bombonera as well, I never even brought that up, but Bombonera was amazing.
Unless you go, I don't think you can fully, truly appreciate what it's like.
No, it's unbelievable. And if you love the game, you just get engrossed in it. You know, I was acting like a kid again. I was like a fan because you just want to be part of it. It's so tribal and so community-driven that you just want to be in there.
Yeah.
And when they score the goal, the place erupts and you're celebrating with guys you've never met. It was just, I got to say, it was one of the best trips I've ever been on in my life. Loved it, Kev.
Brilliant. Oh, that's great. I love to hear that as well because it shows...
Yeah.
You know, obviously we don't get the feeling of the game in Canada, what it does mean to everybody, but it's such a special game, I think, for us growing up as well, that I was a street footballer, essentially, that we were out, my older brother out on the street playing with older kids, getting the crap kicked out you, really. It was a very physical game when we were growing up. And that street football has definitely gone out of the game. It has become more structured, but I think South America still holds that old... traditional values, doesn't it, of the street football?
Yeah. So in Colombia, there was actually a street football tournament going on called the Torneo de Barrio, in the barrio, right? And basically the Colombian for favela. So we get invited to come into this street football tournament. 5v5. No, to film.
Oh, I was going to say.
Because I got to say, we're filming a show called Game and Glory. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be an amazing show. We've seen so many great things that I think when we put this together, it'll be brilliant for people to watch. It'll be coming in April, May. Hopefully on TSN. And we were in the barrio, right?
Is that a hope or is that a...
Well, it is going to be on TSN.
Oh,
there you go. Wow.
Exclusive. And we're in this barrio, right? And it's this cage football. You want to see how they're playing. They're doing slide tackle. Guy did an overhead kick on the concrete. and when I say concrete, it's not like lovely flat. It's got like lips to it and that. You know, it's been there for 50 years probably. And they're playing like their life depends on it.
Yeah.
And this neighbourhood was one of the roughest neighbourhoods in Medellin. And as we know, Medellin can be a rough city. And we were given permission to be in there and treated like locals. And it was unbelievable. There's about 3,000 people watching this.
Wow. Do you know what? It just brought me back a little bit there. When I was a kid growing up, I used to live by Deepdale, obviously a famous football ground in England, Preston North End. Right beside Deepdale, there was 2 floodlit five-a-side pitches.
Right.
And there was a wall that was waist height. So it was a waist height wall with netting up on top of the wall. Obviously, little AstroTurf pitches, so turf pitches we were playing on. It was lethal. So you would get smashed into the wall. So you could do little 1-2s around them, little 1-2 off the wall, beat a guy. It was that cage-style football. But the cages that are around now, they can kind of take a little bit of the slack that if you get hit into the cage, obviously with force it'll hurt. Health and safety, exactly. But this was not health and safety when I was a kid. And you would get punched, kicked, whatever, but it was when they say you watch hockey now, when lads get smashed into the boards, that's what it was like.
It was like that.
You would get smashed into the boards, but it was bricks. So if you get smashed, you were lads with cut heads, shoulders, it was just, but it was great. Great to play. I loved
Toughened
it.
you up.
I loved it, I loved it.
Talking of violence, I went to the lacrosse on Friday night.
Oh, did you?
Oh, the Oshawa Firewolves. Oh, there are lots of fight. Yeah, there's always fighting in lacrosse. And then on Saturday, actually, a different game, 2 goalies.
Oh, I saw that.
I saw that.
I saw that. That was a really good night out. Took the kids and Oshawa Firewolves lost against...
You're branching out or watching other sports then?
Vancouver Warriors. The goaltender... Del Bianco for Vancouver, is actually apparently one of Canada's top goalkeepers, is the son-in-law of Perry Silkowski, the Whitecaps, former Whitecaps broadcaster that was with us for all that time.
Good guy.
But we had a great time at that. It's more violent than you would expect if you've not been to it.
I've seen it. I've watched it, You can't beat a good old shoulder as well.
That could be our next TSN night out.
We should do that.
That'd be great fun.
Yeah, just make sure you don't miss people out this time.
Oh, no, everyone. Matthew, you've got the first invite. Matthew Shinetti will be there, hopefully. Can you drink in the arena?
I guess so. I had a nice tea.
Because it's not going to work for us.
I had a nice tea.
Yes, absolutely. I'm told absolutely, yes.
If you can't have a beer.
I don't know what the Guinness will be like.
Yeah.
We'll bring it on.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, Statman Joe will be there anyway because he works on lacrosse.
Yeah.
He does anything.
Perfect, yeah.
Right? He does anything.
Yeah,
He's good, but he's a good stat man on everything.
He
That's
is.
what it
He
is.
knows his
He
stuff.
knows his stuff on everything.
And his
yeah.
passion's amazing, isn't it? He loves lacrosse. He's always promoting it and telling us, you got to come to a game, you got to see it.
I used to go to some Toronto Rock games till they moved out to Hamilton. That's a bit too far for me.
Oshawa's closer to me as well, so Oshawa's not too bad.
We should do that.
I've been to watch the Generals a few times in hockey, so I'll definitely go to the
we should have a Friday. It was a good night out of the Firewolves. And that, by the way, we can mention it because it was on. The game was on TSN.
Ah, right. There you go.
So if you go back and you pause it, if you've got it on PVA, pause a few. We're probably there.
That's too far for me to go back though, so I'll need to stay at the farm probably.
You need to
sleep
stay at Kilbane at the bar.
Yeah.
Final race for the Rooster update of 2025.
We're still on 7. I've got him caged now.
That's it.
I've sorted, lads.
Yeah.
I tell you what we
you're
had.
doing now.
Look, tell you what we had though. We had a fisher around this week. You know what a fisher is?
No.
It's like
with his
yeah. So you don't know, Dave. No, they're they're renowned for basically.
A bird?
No, it's like a ferret-like animal. Bigger than a ferret, smaller than a fox.
Right.
But
a fisher.
Fisher, they're
Never
called.
heard of a fisher.
The fishers, because they go into the water, they usually like grab fishes and grab ducks and things like that.
Vicious.
They would go in and they would destroy. So we caught a glimpse of one recently. So I've had to. I'm on high alert.
What do you do there?
I'm on high alert.
You just keep an eye.
Oh yeah, I'll just chase it. Get me and the dog will go out, you know. And
can you imagine? Remember David Attenborough, the big nature guy, did all the TV there. It's like I'm just imagining Kev in his kitchen window with his binoculars. Like looking at
just like speaking quietly and like creeping up on this fisher.
It's the big fisher of whatever. So you're at 7.
Google it. We're at 7.
Okay.
That's good.
We're still at 7. There was some debate about 8, and the kids think it's 8, but you're at 7. As we finish the year,
we still haven't actually had that discussion that we did go from 8 to 7.
Yeah.
So officially, maybe in the house we're still on 8, but unofficially we're on 7.
And I'm looking forward to going.
Updating that.
I'm looking forward to going home and actually having for lunch. I'm going to.
Oh, I've had these eggs.
He bought me some eggs yesterday.
Top drawer.
Are they?
Oh, I've had them.
Poached eggs, scrambled eggs.
Orange yolk. The yolk is unbelievable. I'm telling you.
There you go, lads.
Are you going to serve them at the pub when it's open?
I probably will actually.
Nice.
They'll be our eggs, I would imagine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very good.
Can't wait for this pub too.
Okay. Do look out for, by the way, over the holidays, there will be a best of Park the Bus.
Yeah.
So it'll be about 5 minutes long, maybe. I don't know.
The worst of.
The worst of Kev's opinions is an hour-long show.
Lads,
so we'll have that as well. No, that's it. Next, I mean, he's disappearing, so we'll have to. Maybe a couple of weeks into January,
Stevie's
back in.
I'll come with Zoom. Where
are you going to be?
Europe and then Morocco.
But where you just Morocco? It's all in Morocco.
The African. Just the final.
You're going home to Scotland as well.
Going home.
You're
Go home to Scotland,
game.
see my parents, then go to the Old Firm game and start our last shoot, a game in glory. So we'll go Scotland, Paris, Newcastle.
Yeah.
And then Como,
Napoli. You're going Glasgow, Paris, back to Newcastle.
Because it's about games, isn't it? We've got to be at the game.
Okay.
So we're basically up in the morning of the PSG Paris FC game to Paris, go to the Derby, which is going to be great.
Good.
Stadiums are like, you can almost touch these two stadiums.
Is it Parc des Princes?
Yeah, it's at Parc des Princes. And then,
that was, to be fair, that was one of the highlights of all the games I've ever done, was doing Canada at the Women's World Cup in 2019 in Parc des Princes.
Right.
Just to be in that stadium calling a game.
I love that stadium.
And to see like the tiny road.
Northern Ireland and Ukraine.
Right.
Yeah.
The tiny road in between that stadium and the other one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah,
we want to tell that story because I actually think Paris FC will be like a right club in the next few years.
What's the Newcastle game you're going to?
Newcastle, I think it's Leeds, actually.
What a game. What a game.
I think it's Newcastle Leeds, a midweek game.
Right.
It's a midweek game to fit it in, and then I'm excited to go to Como as well because they're flying, Fabregas, Napoli.
What a life.
Paris, Como,
South America,
Newcastle.
Medellin, Montevideo, and Rio, wherever.
The racing story that I told, we were filming, we were trying to create a show. So we had got everything we needed, and Mark, senior producer, comes to me and says, all right, we got everything, we're leaving, we got to go. And I'm like, I'm not leaving. He's like, what do you mean? I said, you think I'm leaving this game? This is unbelievable. He's like, but we got to put the drone up and we got to get other stuff. I said, you guys can go. I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me. Take security, go. I am staying in the stadium. Something amazing is going to happen here. And then we had the last second goal, and I'm like, so I become a fanboy. That's a bit of a problem for me.
Yeah. No,
but when you're at games like that, you got to savour it.
You don't leave early, but that's also the right thing to do. If anyone ever says to you, in a foreign country, we got to go put the drone up, I probably wouldn't. Yeah. I would stay away just in case.
We had permits to put the drone up.
You never know where it might
end up. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that, and that wraps up Park the Bus. We'll see you in 2026.
Can't wait.
And you may or may not get back.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thanks for watching Park the Bus. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.